Hi PUBG Esports fans, I'm your PUBG Esports guide Annie, and I'm here again with Paperthin.
Hey Annie, it's good to be back, and I'm excited for PGC.
Yeah, it's been a long time, and we're here to talk about everything about PGC 2022. But before then, we want to wrap up PCS 7, which was held just before. Asia Pacific, Day Trade Gaming won again, and in Americas, again, Sonics won the PCS 7 Americas. But Europe and Asia had a different champion this time. In Europe, Question Mark won, and Asia, New Happy finally won the PCS 7.
So, and then you go over to EU, and it is kind of interesting. I think a lot of people were looking at Northern Lights, maybe FaZe or Na'Vi, and Question Mark comes through here with a team that's been together in this shape for a while, but they haven't really played that great recently until now. And now all of a sudden they exploded. They played great. In APAC and Americas, it was very much kind of what you would expect. And of course in Asia, I mean, now that New Happy isn't bogged down in their fight for Yasnaya with Donala, they played amazing, as expected.
So PCS 7 is over, and now only thing left for 2022 PUBG Esports is PGC 2022. It was held in Incheon, Korea last year, right?
Yeah, it was a really cool stage.
Yeah, I remember, and it was really cold back then. But in 2022, the PUBG Global Championship will be held in Dubai. Yay!
Yay, warmer, yay!
PGC 2022 will kick off in November 1st and will be held for 3 weeks. And 32 teams will be competing to become the PGC 2022 champion. This time we have the different format, right?
Yeah, it is going to be a little bit different this time around, and I'm excited because this really gives all 32 teams a real shot to show their best, to really show how hard they've been practicing.
So this time in PGC 2022, we have 6 teams each from APAC and America region, 8 teams from Europe region, and finally 12 teams from Asia region. So we want to talk about the overview of each region, how the playstyle of each teams in each region is different, and let's look through the PGC points of 4 regions. Let's start with APAC.
Maybe the most fun region to watch. It's a chaotic region, but in a really exciting way where teams will take fights, you know, maybe a little bit more challenging, or they're trying to set up traps more often for other teams. It's really hard to predict what these teams are going to do.
I'm sure that Day Trade Gaming and Brilliant United Esports have shown those kind of playstyle in the previous global events.
Yeah, I think a lot of PUBG Esports fans are going to be really excited to see Buriram back. Obviously, that is a team that brings a ton of explosive firepower. Day Trade is just the most balanced team in APAC right now. They're really solid at everything they do. Their decision making is good. And then, of course, I think you also got to keep your eyes on the dynamic duo for Day Trade, Nurens and Flash, who have been just consistently great players. So obviously, they're 2 players that I would really consider putting on my fantasy team, maybe.
In APAC, we have some of the veteran players that have been playing PUBG for so long, like Rossity Jr. from T5, and Levis from The Expendables, and also Leo from Shigadui. Let's move on to America's region. There are 5 North American teams and 1 South American team.
This is an up-and-coming region to me. They just seem to keep getting better and better. You know, obviously the Sonics won PGIS, and they may not have won PGC last year, but they still had some good performances, some good results. When I watch this region, I see a strong region. You know, teams like the Sonics are cautiously aggressive, where they do sometimes, you know, push out for kills and those kind of things. Latin America is really starting to rise up and catch up rapidly. So this to me is maybe like the region that I think of the dark horse.
Yeah, this region is full of veteran players. Teams like Sonics have always been playing so well in their region. And Luminosity Gaming, this is the old Shoot to Kill members, and they have won the 4th in PGC 2021 as TSM, which means they have potential in the global stage. The team name might sound new, but they are the teams that have been playing in the global stage in past few years.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a lot of these players you're going to know and love. United has a young, up-and-coming roster of really talented players.
Yeah, and Yahoo has Sparking, who have IGL, the Brazil team in recent PNC, and they have ranked 3rd. With other veteran players, I think they also could have a potential here. Next is Europe. The tournament format has slightly changed in PCS 7 Europe. There were no invited teams in the grand final, so some teams are very familiar, but we do have some new teams coming in EMEA region.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm really excited about Polish Power, for example, a team that doesn't have a ton of experience globally other than a few of them who used to be on any trolls in chat, but they played in Americas, so it's pretty exciting to see them and come into Europe and play very, very well.
Yeah, and we have to talk about Entropeak and Question Mark, who won each PCS 6 Europe and PCS 7 Europe, but they're relatively new to the global stage.
I mean, I think everybody's going to know a doozy from Question Mark. He's been one of the all-time great players in PUBG Esports history, and now he's back and better than ever, maybe. Entropeak, it is really surprising to see a team that is as good as they were at PCS 6 not be able to qualify for PCS 7. My hope is that they'll learn from that and they'll be able to compete for the championship.
How about FaZe Clan?
There were a few mistakes I saw, especially with the early rotations from Gustav with his IGLing and stuff, but I think overall this is a team that can correct those and do really well.
Yeah, I hope FaZe Clan will play consistent in the upcoming PGC 2022. And talking about the consistency, I have to talk about NLT again, one of the most consistent team in the world in PUBG Esports scene.
I think the thing to watch with Northern Lights is how smart of a team they are and how well balanced they are. But Batuins does a good job putting this team in a good spot, clearing their edges, making sure that they're safe behind them. They do things like pre-rotations where they're in a car while the circle's already closing. All these really smart ideas that they bring to the table consistently make them a great team.
Last but not least is Asia region. This region is indeed the most competitive region.
Yeah, I mean, this is historically the best region in PUBG Esports, so this is going to be really exciting. PCS 7 was extremely close at the end. You had 4 teams in the final game that legitimately could have won if they were able to get the chicken dinner. So yeah, I'm really looking at this region as the favorite for this event.
This time, Chinese teams took 1 more seed, which means they have been playing so well in their PCS events.
They're all really, really good. New Happy, of course, is first and foremost. The 2-time PCL champions. They won PCS 7 this year. This is a stacked team, incredible players top to bottom. Yes, Ming Ming is widely considered their ace, but ZP Yan has actually been one of their best performers at most of their international events.
And Patrick Road?
This is such a great team. Long and Mill have been playing really, really well too, so you can't count them out, obviously. 3-time PCS winners, they could definitely do it.
And also 17 Gaming, they're always playing very well in PCS and also the global stage, but maybe because of the hot drops, they haven't been playing really well in the PGC level competitions.
Yeah, so it's going to be tricky for 17 Gaming, right? There's 4 teams going to be competing for Pachinki and Picado, 1 from each region. This is a team that I think could win this event, but I don't know what the drops are going to look like.
So this time we have 4 Korean teams. 3 of them looks really familiar. Frakes, Genji, and Danawa Esports have been playing in the global stage from past several years representing Korea.
Yeah, I think it's, especially for the Freaks, kind of par for the course. They do really well in the PWS, then they come to the international events and they're so-so. Genji, of course, a different look than maybe in the past. Now there's a lot of the old Ghibli team members on this team trying to upgrade their firepower. It hasn't really paid out. They're still good, but not great. Danawa has kind of started to fall off this year. Last year, very good at PGC, getting 5th place. This year, it looks a little bit shaky. Adding Lambo to the team as the IGL.
And now it's Bego Pa. The team name is very new, but if you look into the members, these members are full of veteran players who have been playing PUBG for so long, like DG98, PO, Taemin, Sungjang, and Too Hard. It's quite a nostalgic names.
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that made a splash when they decided to come out together. Pio brought this team together. The team name literally means we're hungry, so they're hungry for wins. This team shouldn't surprise anybody that they're this good, right? You're talking about a PGC champion, a FaZe Global Summit champion, Sungjang, who was on those OGN teams that got 4th at every major event ever. Too Hard is nuts, and people don't realize, but in Korea, he was really, really good for a while. A great team. Can their style work on the actual global level? We'll see.
Recent PCS 7 Asia, Chinese teams won again, winning 7, actually 8, including Charity Showdown. This rivalry between China and Korea, it has been very long, and we have to see how this will show off in PGC 2022.
Yeah, there's conflicting styles for sure here. The Chinese teams are more aggressive. They're looking for third-party opportunities. They're really good at keeping track of their kill feeds to make sure they know the situations around them and when they should take advantage of them. The Korean teams play a little bit more passive. They're kind of more focused on controlling space and territory and trying to use that to their advantage as the game goes on. And yes, in the past that has worked very well for the Korean teams. These days it doesn't seem to, as the kill points are really an important factor. So I think now we need to see the Korean teams be a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, and I think this applied to other teams competing in PGC 2022 to win against Chinese teams. We have been explaining the 32 participating teams, and we have some of the rookie teams and full of veteran teams. And the first step of the journey to the PGC 2022 championship would be the group stage, and the group was decided based on the PGC points rank of each region. And this is how it looks.
I don't feel like either one is significantly stronger than the other. Maybe Team A a little bit is kind of more difficult. You know, 3 of the top 5 teams from last year's PGC that are in there. But still, this is a really difficult group no matter which one you're in.
I would also like to explain the power ranking that we can have the information about the status quo of participating teams. Power ranking will be updated in Twire. We'll have the player ranking and team ranking based on their performance until PCS 7. So you can visit Twire and check out the power ranking of the participating teams and players of PGC 2022. So Pick'em is back as always. You can buy a PGC 2022 exclusive item starting October 26th, and you can get the voting coupon. You can pick the winners and reward it with EP if you get right. And there are another ways to earn EPs, like Fantasy League.
Yeah, exactly. So on twire.gg, you can go onto there, create an account, make your own fantasy team. You get to pick 4 players. You have a certain amount of money to work with, and each player costs more money the better they have done so far this year. So you get to put together your team, compete against everybody, make your own private groups, compete against your friends, and try to win. And you can win, like you said, some prizes and get some of those sweet purple skins. My favorite color, purple. Seriously.
We've talked a lot about PGC 2022 today, and before we wrap up, please be noted that PGC 2022 is kicking off on November 1st and will be lasting until November 20th in Dubai. And this time we're going to have a crowd in the grand finals.
So I'm looking forward to going to Dubai. Of course, you know, it's the best event of the year, so it's the most hype event, the best players, the best teams. What else could you want?
Please check out the PUBGesports.com and PUBG Esports social channels for the ticket info and offline events information. Please stay tuned for PGC 2022 and check out which team will be the best team in 2022. We'll be back with more contents in November. See you in Dubai. Bye. Don't forget to like and subscribe.